Good afternoon. I'm so happy and delighted to be part of you today. And as you all know, we are going to talk about mental health, which is a very, very important topic, and also something that we should all know, because a lot of us have a wrong perception when they mention mental health. But before I begin, I would like to thank the organizers of this wonderful session. That is the Last Innovation Hub, from their coordinator, Engineer Abakar, Engineer Zainab, and all other team. This is a very nice initiative, and I hope Last Innovation Hub will continue with these wonderful and interesting sessions. And please, I want you all to pay attention, listen. I can make mistake, and along the way, if you feel there is any correction, any criticism, any questions, it will all be welcome. My name is Dr. Aisha Isah Muhammad. I graduated from Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, and I'm a medical doctor. As I said during my introduction in personal hygiene, this is still what I'm going to say about it. Mental health is a very, very wide topic. As much as possible, I'm going to try to break it down for everybody to understand. I promise you it's going to be an interesting session. Mental health is one part of the definition of health. As I mentioned, health, according to WHO standard definition of health is when we are physically, mentally, is the physical, mental, and social well-being of an individual, not just the presence of disease or infirmity. It describes the level of psychological well-being or an absence of a mental disorder. And the World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being in which the individual realizes his or her own capabilities, can cope with the normal stress of life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. What they mean here is that it's a state of well-being in which you as a person, you realize that you have some abilities and you can also cope with the normal stresses of life, such as, going to work, cleaning the house, doing a lot of things, thinking straight, ability to solve your own problems, and also you work productively and fruitfully wherever you find yourself, and you are able to make contribution to the community. And in simple terms, is the maintenance of successful mental activity. Deviation from this, that is deviation from the definition we said, leads to mental disorders. And mental health today is of public health importance, which is now being discussed, and several movements have been done to raise awareness. As you can see, there are a lot of awareness on social media platforms about mental health, because a lot of us are misinterpreting when we mention mental health. Everybody think, when they say mental health, okay, they are talking to the mad people, or no, they are talking to those abusing drug. No, mental health is far, far, far wider than that. And mental disorders are usually completely diagnosed by patients' subjective experiences rather than objective abnormalities. What they mean here is that a lot of things has to do with mental health diagnosis, that is mental disorders. They had to do with, if maybe, for example, somebody is withdrawing, maybe he's normally an active person in the society, and all of a sudden he doesn't want to interact with anybody. Or maybe it's somebody that, it's normal, just all of a sudden he has started to throw tantrums in the society, maybe fighting everybody that comes, maybe you try to harm yourself or harm others, you understand, rather than, the subjective one that you say, maybe your urine color has changed, or maybe you're feeling some slight headache, or maybe you lost consciousness all of a sudden, that maybe you fainted. Let me use that word, you fainted all of a sudden. So this is what it means, subjective experiences rather than objective abnormalities. And today we need to treat mental health as an important aspect of health, which is paramount to our well-being. Seriously, if you don't treat your mental health, before you know, you'll be entering a situation whereby nobody will understand you. Even you will not understand yourself, and you begin to have a lot of things running. Some people go to the extent of even trying to commit suicide. And it's not because maybe they are taking is only drug abuse, or no, there are certain things that can jeopardize your mental health. And there are different types of mental health problems, some of which are common, such as depression, anxiety disorders, and some not so common, such as schizophrenia and bipolar disorders. All these are examples of mental health disorders. There are a lot of them. Even under this depression, there are a lot of examples. Under this anxiety disorders, schizophrenia, there are different types of them that I mentioned. Bipolar disorder, there is eating disorders, there are drug substance abuse, a lot of examples under mental health. That's why I said it's a very, very broad topic. So we're not even going to take, and I just want to give everybody an overview of what mental health is. Inshallah, I know if Last Innovative Hope are going to continue, so we'll be taking these topics one by one to be discussing on them, so that people will know the danger signs and they'll be able to help those in their family or in their community, their friends or their colleagues at work when you see any signs of this. The significance evidence from WHO suggests that nearly half the world population are affected by mental illness, which have an impact on their self-esteem, relationships, and ability to function in their everyday life. If you can see, some people, when they're experiencing mental illness, they will lose self-confidence of themselves. They won't have any confidence. They will even be running away from society. They will not be able to sleep. They will not be able to do their normal activities. Even see, as simple as sweeping the house, some people lose interest in that. So mental health is very, very important, and an individual emotional health can also impact his physical health, and poor mental health that can lead to problems such as substance abuse. So some people, as you can see, with that is when they'll start, maybe if they have bad influence, they can start taking drugs, they can start abusing drugs. Some not even have to go to take weed or all these big substance abuse we know. No, some people go to the extent of abusing certain drugs, all in the name of because they are feeling so symptoms, so they have to be taking their drugs to relieve themselves. And before you know, some of them, like I told you, as simple as that personal hygiene that we are talking about, some people will even stop keeping their self neat, and will be very, very unkept, which, as we all know, it will impact our physical health. And the importance of maintaining good mental health is crucial to living a long and healthy life. What is a good mental health? As you can see on the slide, all these are examples of good mental health. It is a sense of self-sufficiency, self-esteem, and self-worth. With a good mental health, you feel more confident about yourself. You feel, yes, you are enough, as in you are good in everything you set yourself to do, and you feel, yes, you are also important to the society. And the ability to put one trust in order, the ability for you to trust at least maybe even your closest relative, because when some people are experiencing mental disorder, do you know they go to the extent of even losing trust with their close members of the family. So you see, ability for you to put one trust in another is also a good sign of good mental health. And the ability to give and receive friendship, affection, and love is also a good sign of mental health. Ability to form enduring emotional attachments. For example, now maybe you love somebody and the person does not love you back. So the ability for you to even understand, oh, this person, okay, doesn't love me, let me just move on, or because let me tell you, there are some certain diseases in mental health, in psychiatric in general, that some people will just develop that interest because they love somebody. They'll just put it in their brain that no, that person loved them and this is how it's going to be. It's also a mental health disorder. And we joke about when some people are complaining of certain things. We don't know that it's affecting their mental health, and we laugh about it, which is not good for them and for us. Ability to experience deep emotions. For you to also experience deep, or maybe to love somebody or to feel hot when maybe your closest family has any ailment or is undergoing some loss or something, or maybe when somebody dies that you really love. All those things are a good sign of mental health, because some people, maybe their mother or father would die and they don't care. They don't even feel that deep emotion that, oh, I've lost somebody very dear to me. All these are signs of experiencing deep emotion, are all signs of good mental health. Ability to forgive oneself and others, the ability for you to make mistake and understand, okay, this is a mistake, let me learn from my mistake. And also for you to also try to forgive others no matter what they do to you, so that you can move on with your life, is also a sign of good mental health. And also ability to examine oneself and consider change. See, the ability for you to sit down and say, okay, so person told me that I'm not doing something right, let me try to see, or let me try to change. Or the ability for you to also even adjust in your environment, no matter how tight the situation is. See, let me tell you, even the ability for you to know that, oh, before I have money and now I don't have, let me try to adjust my life. It's also a sign of good mental health. Some people cannot do that, and it's really affect their mental health. Ability for you to learn from experiences and to tolerate uncertainty and risk. A lot of us are in businesses. Let me tell you, as we have also discussed on all those topics about businesses and all other things, see, the ability for you to know that in your business there is profit and there is loss, and when those loss comes, your ability to accept it, ability for you to know that where did I make mistake, where am I supposed to correct myself, where am I going to supposed to learn more, so that for me to maybe next time you should not have those kind of risk, or even taking risk in life. Maybe you want to enter into a certain business and you have no the do's and the don'ts, and for you to even give yourself that chance to let me even try to go ahead and do it and see if what the future has for me. It's also a sign, because some people cannot even decide that for themselves. Some people will even run away. Little things they procrastinate, let me leave it because I'm scared. All these things that I mentioned, ability for you to learn from your experience and to tolerate uncertainty and risk, are also sign of good mental health. Ability to engage in reverie and fantasy. Reverie and fantasy means something that has to do with our intimate relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, of you to have all those kind of life that you want to go out, you want to go on a date, you want to play around with. All those things, they are signs of good mental health. When the brain is not working properly, one or more of its six functions will be disrupted. That is your thinking ability, your perception, how you view your environment, your emotions. But signaling means sometimes the way you quickly, maybe in a situation, the way you quickly make yourself go out of that situation, your physical or your behavior, all when your brain is not working properly, one or more of this function will surely be affected. What do we know about people with mental illnesses? These are some of the things a lot of us have about mental. Most people with mental disorders live productive and positive lives while receiving treatment for their mental illness. The ability for you to accept, I have a mental disorder and I need to see a medical practitioner or to seek for medical treatment. Some of them, they have see, a lot of us that you see working, having a good life, and then some of them are receiving treatment and they are doing fine, they are doing well, and they are trying to cope with the situation. Like all these schizophrenic disorders I told you, sometimes these bipolar disorders, they are all trying when they are receiving treatment. You see them all these post-traumatic stress disorders, those that have it, you will see them, they have a normal life, they try as much as possible to cope. Some people have severe and persistent mental disorder which respond poorly to current treatment, as in all other illnesses. So mental disorders, they respond poorly to treatments, and with this, that is when you start noticing a lot of things in this kind of people. You know that yes, their mental health is affected, maybe they're having problem with their brain and everything. Mental illness does not respect any boundary, whether the race, class or geography, whether you are black, whether you are white, whether you are rich, poor, whether you live in the southern, north, east, wherever you live. Mental illness does not respect any boundaries. Anybody can be affected, and the majority of people have a friend, acquaintance or family member who has or had a mental disorder. Some of us have family members that have experienced this mental disorder. Some of us have friends, colleagues in work. Some we know of some people that we are working together and all of a sudden they have mental and they have to leave work. We all know this. Some of us, it goes down to even our parents or our own children that we gave birth to. Causes. Mental illness in general are thought to be caused by a variety of genetic and environmental factors. One, due to inherited traits. As I said before, you can inherit these mental disorders from your first degree relatives or second degree relatives. What I mean by first degree relatives is either your parents, and second degree relative, what I mean is from your grandparents, your uncles, like is just your grandparents, your great grandparents. Something like the gene will just manifest all of a sudden, maybe as the family tree is going down, and due to brain chemistries. So a lot of things can happen in your brain, and all those if I explain it, I know we have medical students, doctors among us that will understand what I mean, but at simpler terms, for those of us that are not health related, this thing, what I mean by brain chemistry is some reactions in your brain can happen and lead to all these mental illnesses, which can affect maybe some parts of your maybe functions that I've mentioned before, they can affect it. And then due to environmental exposures, like substance abuse, maybe bad influence and the rest, and before you know, they'll start experiencing mental health illness or abuse of drugs, a lot of things, environmental exposures, a lot of things. Like some people, maybe due to stigmatization of a certain, maybe you have done something before, and all those stigmatization in the community, you see a lot of people who start developing mental health illnesses. As you can see here, symptoms can include thinking difficulties or problems focusing attention. Thinking difficulties, you will not be able to think straight, you will not be able to think well. Maybe all you'll be thinking is, I just want to commit suicide. Or no, you'll be thinking, oh, you're the worst person on earth and all other things. And then your ability to focus, even to give attention. Like some of us that are mothers here, you see there are some people that will even reach an extent, they doesn't even want to come closer to their children. Or maybe they all of a sudden they just develop hatred for their children or for their spouses or something. Or you understand a lot of things. Even some of us that we are single, you start hating everything around you. You don't even want to talk to anybody. All those things, you can't even sweep. You can't even think of, okay, let me keep myself clean and the rest. Extreme emotional highs and lows. You start having some emotions that will be so bizarre and weird. And then maybe you can go as low as you don't even want to do anything. Maybe if you sit in a particular spot, that is where you want to be for the rest of your life. You don't want to eat. Then sleep problem. You will not be able to sleep. You will not be able to, even if you want to sleep, you can't because of all those, maybe what is going on, that is mental illness. As you can see, this is just a percentage in ages that people experience with in their normal lives. People with mental health disorder can live normal lives. Percentage means strongly, and then somewhat. Then 77% of adults, that is 18.34%, 77%, that is from age 18 to age 34, experiences mental health. Within that age, 77%. And adults from 35 to 64, yes, 35 years to 64, that is 86% of them also experiences mental health disorders and can live a normal life. And 90% of adults above 65 years, they experiences mental. Above 18 to 34, there are so many things, maybe financial problem, maybe relationship problems, family problems, you understand, educational problems, a lot of things. And then this 35 to 64 years, yes, still it can be financial problems, family problems, relationship problems, children problem, a lot of things. And then this 65 years, they are old. Maybe they don't have people that will help them to do what they normally do. Maybe their children are far away from them, or maybe they have started experiencing all those neurological, like as dementia, forgetting things, forgetting all what they have done in life, or that is Alzheimer's disease, a lot of things within this age capacity. Risk factors, what leads to all these mental illnesses. Examples, like I've been mentioning examples so far as I'm talking like now, but the main things that can lead to this mental health illness: a history of mental illness in a blood relative, like I've said, parents, grandparents; stressful life situations such as maybe financial problems, maybe when your work is too stressful for you and you have a wicked boss, for example. All those things, they are stressful life situations. Ongoing chronic disease like diabetes, cancer, a lot of things, hypertension, a lot of things that maybe will give you so much worries, and brain damage, as I've said. Like now, like our old age people, as they are growing, a lot of cells are damaging in your brain, and they can never be rejuvenated again. That is, they can never be like other cells in the body that, they can quickly, but in the brain, as they die, they are just dying. Some reach the essence of having dementia. They forget everything that's happening to them. Traumatic experiences, that is when I talk about those post-traumatic experiences, like maybe experience emotional abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, maybe from your partner or from somebody, not necessarily from your partner, or from somebody. Or maybe you had a terrible accident, or you saw a terrible accident that has been disturbing you, or you saw a terrible thing that you couldn't talk, and that thing has been living in your mind for so long. Use of alcohol or recreational drugs. That is, some people go to the extent of taking We have heavy drinkers, some people that drink so much alcohol. It can also lead to mental health illnesses, or those that maybe due to their they resolve to the extent of taking drugs or abusing. Then a childhood history of abuse or neglect. Children too can experience mental, because as you can see, they may be abused right from small age. All those children that we are hearing that they are raping them, do you know the mental trauma that they have given them for the rest of their life? If the parents do not even try to get help for them, forever they will have this they will grow up with this history of abuse, and before you know, or they will start experiencing mental illness in their adulthood, which if you go deep, you don't see maybe it's right from childhood, and or neglect, or those parents that neglect their children, they don't care about them, or the orphans that maybe their parents are not alive and they don't experience love. Unhealthy relationships can be from either your family, your friends, your boyfriend, your husband, a various mental illness. Maybe you have had a mental illness before, and so now maybe it has not, and it's still manifesting. Complications. See, all these things that I've mentioned, if not treated properly, you do not seek for treatment, they will lead to a lot of things that it will jeopardize your health. Mental illness is a leading cause of disability. Untreated mental illness can cause severe emotional, behavioral, and physical health problems. Complications sometimes linked to mental illness include unhappiness and decreased enjoyment of life. You become unhappy. You don't even want to enjoy life anymore. When people want to go out, maybe to be kissed sooner, you don't want to go. You just want to stay at home. Even if you stay at home, you don't want to be happy with anybody. You start having suicidal thoughts. Some people go to the extent of thinking, I just want to die, let me just leave this world. Family conflicts. Maybe if your family does not understand that you're undergoing mental illness, you start having problems with them, you start having problems with even your society. Relationship become difficult, you start isolating yourself from anything. Maybe some goes to the extent of abusing drugs, some even go to the extent of harming themselves or harming other people. You develop chronic medical conditions, and you start entering legal or financial problems, such as maybe you went to go and harm somebody, or maybe all this conflict that leads you to destroy somebody. Before you know, they can take you to the court. You start using your money to start bailing yourself out and everything. You start missing work or school or any other activities which you are very active in. 5 ways to end mental health stigma. Maybe if you're experiencing mental health disorder and you think you need help, did you know up to 1 in 5 children experiences a mental health disorder and don't receive the treatment they need, as I said before when I mentioned childhood abuse or neglect? Together, we can support children and stop the negative stigma around mental health. This thing, what I brought it's part of children, but even adults can use it too. You educate yourself and your children about mental health, or even as an adult, you go for people to educate you about what this mental health is, and you share real life examples of people with mental health disorders, maybe to that person. Some of us, please hear, some people may come for you for help. You can use this to prevent stigma and also help that person a lot. You explain mental health as a range of symptoms. You also listen to and support others with mental health concern, and you share stories of overcoming mental health disorders. If you don't know, you can browse. Now if you go to the internet, you can get a lot of things, you can even get or you refer that person to somebody that is a specialist on that mental health to help that person. And there is a lot of us that view, please, as much as possible, I want to pass this message. Please, we should try as much as possible to stop stigmatizing those with mental health. Even if that person is not experiencing mental health, let's just say it's one side of life. Let's try as much as possible to have a good thoughts about people. See, you may see someone maybe behaving somehow, and you start laughing at him. All those things trigger. Let me give you an example. When I was a medical student, actually there was this woman, her daughter was very, very sick, and we are having these normal ward rounds, clinical activities as at that time. So me and my colleague, we are just gisting about something, and one of us made the mistake and we are trying to laugh. Do you know that when we laughed, this woman thought we were laughing at her, and we didn't even see her. But she went out crying, saying that we are laughing at her. So you see, because of the health situation of her daughter, she doesn't have money. They want to send them out of the hospital. You understand all those things, because they didn't pay for their hospital bills for how many days, and the hospital is like, okay, we have done what we can do. You people just have to go. And she's already because we are laughing at that moment. She felt like we are laughing. We are not at fault, but we had to go and start begging her that, please, we are sorry. We are not even laughing at her. We are very, very sorry, this and that. So we, the ladies, we had to go and talk to her. We gave her some words of advice, and from there she lightened up her mood. We tried to even at least raise something for her so that she should feel happy about it, that okay, she has some money even for her to eat or transport herself back home. So please, we should try as much as possible to not stigmatize those with mental health. It's not easy for them also. They are trying their best to be part of the society, to even blend with the society very, very well. 4 things to know about mental health. Sadness and depression are not sign of weakness. Please, we should know that. It's not their fault. It's not them that is making. It's not a sign of, oh, this person is a weak person, that is why he's sad or he's depressed. Please. Feeling sad is not always bad. You can feel sad, is okay, or all those things that make sure it's okay. This is live one, but the ability for you to know that for a certain period I'm sad, console yourself or find a way of going out of that sadness is a good thing. And it's okay to talk to your child about death and suicide. It's okay to tell them that death is something that is, yes, it's compulsory, everybody must die, but as much as possible, not just our children, even those that around us that are experiencing something, yes, you can still remind them and still explain to them and tell them that suicide is not the option. It's not an option for them when they're experiencing a bad experience or something. It's dead, suicide is not an option. And mental illness is not always a component of violent behavior. Please, we should know that. Just because somebody is too violent, maybe yafi fada or something like that, or yafi hanya, some people is just their nature. So we should try to separate what a mental health illness is, please, from all those that have violent behaviors. Prevention and treatment. There is no such way to prevent mental illness. However, if you have a mental illness, taking steps to control stress, to increase your resilience, and to boost low self-esteem may help keep your symptoms under control. As we said, your ability to control your stress, as in no matter how you're undergoing stress in life, the ability for you to overcome it, to try to at least go out of it, to try to hold yourself on, even if you're experiencing educational, financial, marital problems, your ability to know that I'm strong, I'm worth it, I know my worth, I know my everything, is something that can prevent you from falling, maybe to have mental. So now these are the few steps that I can give you. Pay attention to warning signs. Yes, you should keep your warning signs, like before you're having all those thoughts, or maybe sometimes the emotion is so low you feel like, no, I'm sad, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to play with anybody, or maybe you start saying that all of a sudden you're somebody that is very jolly and now you're always sad, you don't even play around, So all those things, please pay attention to warning signs. You try to get routine medical care. A lot of us, we don't even try to get medical checkup. All we say is, no, seriously, I usually tell people that in Africa, I think we don't even see. There is this extent that I used to feel most of us is when maybe we have seen somebody as far as headache will tell you, Isn't sharp paracetamol, and we don't know this paracetamol, taking it even, so we are even abusing paracetamol. Some things is not even paracetamol, some headaches is not even paracetamol. Sometimes it's a serious thing, but we'll not go, or just go even to a doctor, even if he's not going to give you. See, it's not all situation you go and meet a medical doctor and you say, take drugs, go and take this, go and take that. I will tell you this, a good doctor will listen to his patient and will try as much as possible to tell you, no, he will give you assurance if it's not something serious, and if it's something serious, he gets you to start treatment as soon as possible, and you get help when you need it. You get help not just only medical help, a lot from your family, from your friends, those you confide in, those you try to tell them, and they will inshallah they'll try to help you. And you take good care of yourself by eating well, sleeping well, exercising, trying to have fun, you understand, and do things that you love. Take good care of yourself very well, and you seek for medical treatment if what's being worse. And in the course of medical, sometimes it's just psychotherapy. It's not necessarily giving you drugs, and some cognitive behavioral therapy. That is the specialists try as much as possible to help you in overcoming all your worries and your problems. Just because no one else can heal. This is just an adage from Lisa Oliveira. She said, just because no one else can heal or do your inner work for you doesn't mean you can or should or need to do it alone. Yes, just because you're experiencing all those things doesn't mean you just have to heal on your own. You can also get help from anybody who is willing to listen to you. You can't do it alone. You just have to speak up and get help. From this slide, I said, I told the organizers to send this slide which is, you can see, is a mental health check-in, where I want everybody to use this certain emoji of the heart. I know we all have it, the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, the blue, and the purple. Everybody should try to send me what you feel. And if some people are entering that danger zone of from yellow to purple, I would like to communicate with them personally and help. The little I can do, I'll try to help them. But for the red and for the orange, yeah, I know we're all doing fine and pretty and we're trying to maintain, but from yellow is a danger sign. So thank you all for listening. It's my references where I got my listing. And then thank you so much. This is mental health, as you can see, different rays, all trying to fight mental health and get to be more aware. Thank you very much for listening. I'm welcoming any criticism, questions, or any addition to what I said, please. Or if there's any mistake, there is an oversight. We are all not perfect and we are still in the process of learning. We're still in the process of doing all these social media lectures and everything. Physical lecture is more than all this, but still we need to do it because it's not all the time we get audience physically. And also thank you, Last Innovation Hub, for giving me this opportunity.